Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 125 of Manifesting with Meg. And I am so happy to enter this wonderful conversation in the room with an amazing talent. And yes, the show, it's all about no business like show business. And I'm so excited. I have continued my Broadway theme, my creative theme into the new year because I have Miguel Luciano here. And do we have so much wonderful manifesting magic to share with all of you. Once again, this is season 7. It's a year of live, laugh, love, and play. And Miguel is certainly going to help all of us to do that. So remember, today is also about Carpe Diem, seize the day, and possibilities all abound. If we're paying attention, it's more likely that we'll actually get to take advantage of them. And today's theme is episode 2125, trust your choices. And I don't know what a better way to start the year, day, month, everything than to truly begin to start trusting ourselves as we walk this wonderful journey we call life. This is a show about transformation, dreams, inspiration, true happiness, and discovering your bliss. And also the component I'm looking at this year is how will we serve the world? Just a conversation away of extraordinary. This is going to be an extraordinary conversation. It's a universe packed with possibilities. Let's begin. How are you, Miguel? How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm so happy to be here. I'm happy you invited me, and happy Martin Luther King Day.
Happy Martin Luther King Day. Coming off of the I Have a Dream energy, I think It's a wonderful opportunity to acknowledge the fact that my show began 6 years ago today, my 7th season now, and I'm so happy to bring dreamers to the world so that everyone knows that life is just a dream, sweetheart, right? And, I want you to start us off today with something magical. So what's the first topmost on your mind today, Miguel?
Well, I know this is like the most overused phrase in a good way, but gratitude. I'm grateful that you asked me. I'm grateful that how about this? I'm grateful that I know you.
Thank you.
Which I mean, seriously. I'm grateful for the fact that I know you. I'm grateful how I met you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm grateful that we sort of found each other in that world, and I'm grateful to be here. So that's the best way for me to start, and it's the most honest way for me to start.
Well, I love the fact that you bring gratitude into the space. So thank you. And as grateful as you are to me, how grateful I am to you, because I think everything happens in the perfect timing. We've wanted to do this interview for quite some time, but for some reason, today is the day and we get to play, which I love.
Divine time.
Right time, right space. Everything happens when it's supposed to. So let me introduce Miguel to all of you, and you'll see why I'm so excited.
Who is Miguel?
Who is Miguel? I know. I'm like,
when you find out, let me know.
If we break out into some dynamic, dramatic, overture, it's not a problem for me today. I love it. But so he is a true multi-hyphenate artist, born and raised in Miami, Florida, my hometown as well. He's an actor, director, teacher, producer, and host. He's paved his way, I love this, through a myriad of artistic mediums, which I think makes the journey even that more exciting when you play with the world. He's basically known for his antagonistic role on the Nickelodeon series Talia in the Kitchen. So yes, if you do recognize him and all of the Nickelodeon kids out there, that is Miguel. He was on Talia in the Kitchen, and it's still being aired around the world today. His TV resume, and he has a very incredible resume, includes several national and international commercials, other film TV credits, and he has a new film, Dare to Say Yes, coming out later this year, or perhaps maybe the beginning of the year. Let's see.
Yeah.
He finished an extended run, back in January. Now, I have to share this with you because it is by far one of my favorite musicals ever, Cabaret. And I saw it with Alan Cummings and I saw it with Miguel, and he is on par. So literally a magic act, the Emcee in Cabaret. So all of you who have seen it out there, oh my God, amazing. But all of you who haven't, you got to see this guy. He is about to venture on a new, incredible, wonderful adventure for himself act. He's going to New York City, guys, where dreams come true. Having this conversation around the theme, trust your choices. Let me read the quote. Since every choice is a fork in the road, each decision brings with it new hope and promise. And that's Richard Carlson. He was the late Richard Carlson. He wrote the book Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, and it's all small stuff. So we start there, and I like to think that every opportunity we have, we make choices in life. You chose to meet me here today at 1 o'clock. I chose to interview today you and learn more about your process and where you are on your journey. And I think that you all keep in mind as we align to those choices we make really intentionally, the purpose that drives our soul can be furthered. And I think that even more so, it can embolden a beautiful life where, we get to do rather than have to do. And I think that that's the great privilege of walking this world, walking this journey. And like I said, my favorite thing in the world is talk to people who inspire me. So I'll turn it around to you, Miguel. What are your thoughts today on this topic?
Well, first of all, I'm always amazed at how relationships that are authentic and nourish each other, it becomes like a bedrock for synchronicity. Every friendship that I have that's meaningful, or connection that I have that's meaningful, just brings up all of these synchronicities. And it's incredible that you chose a quote by Dr. Richard Carlson, because he is the author of Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, which is the first self-help book that I ever read
Oh,
at like
wow.
15 or 16. I bought that book in Barnes and Noble, and I was like, I'm going to read this because I sweat the small stuff a lot. Luckily, I was very aware of my personality at the time. And I bought that book at like 15 years old or 16 years old. Don't sweat the small stuff. And it's all small stuff. And to this day, I'll be 30 in April, I still quote that book. So when you said that, I was like, Dr. Richard Carlson, it takes me right back to the beginning of my journey,
I love
where
this.
I went inward and was like, okay,
Yeah.
let's get the broom and the mop and the whatever, and let's clean up shop.
Yeah.
So just that alone, I mean, I basically blurred out everything after you said Dr. Richard Carlson, because my soul was like, are you kidding?
Yeah.
You know, so that alone is just a symbol of synchronicity, and everything he says basically is gospel to me. I love that man's work.
I think I think a lot of things, especially at the beginning of the year, we deal with a lot of overwhelm, with what's this year going to be like, and what are we
Yeah.
going to deal with? And like you said, back to your point, we're both synchronistic. We're like those kind of junkies where we like people, and I really go back to the whole idea of like all the world's a stage, Shakespeare, where where people walk in, walk out, they cross our paths, we meet them there, they might go on reason, season, lifetime, who knows? But if you look at life like that, the synchronistic impacts that people have, sometimes good, sometimes bad. Also, that coupled with the fact that what you just said, like it's all small stuff. Like,
Yeah.
overwhelm will get to you if you allow it. But when you're aware, like you're saying, you step back and you're like, oh gosh, this is just another thing that I get to process in a certain way. And it becomes really kind of magical when you see life that way. And the fact that you noticed or you recognize the guy who brought you into the world
Yeah.
of self-help to be the man you are, to
Yeah.
impact all of those beautiful minds that you come into contact with. So, you've had a lot of success in the artistic world, where you were a kid actor, basically. You
Mhm.
said you're about to turn 30, but you were very young when you did the Nickelodeon show.
Well, and
Tell
I
me what,
started professional theater at 11.
okay, so what called to you? What was that choice that said, come this way, come
Yeah.
hither, Miguel,
Come
come
to
hither?
I have to say, I'm grateful for public school education, because my teachers at Charles R. Hadley were like, "You're an actor," and I was like, "Okay." I knew I loved TV. I knew that I loved watching television and film, but I never thought that that was actually like a thing that one could do,
Yeah.
or at least that I could do. And my second grade teacher, Mrs. Strada, was like, "Yeah, you're an actor," so she sort of started shepherding me that way. And then my fifth grade teacher said that I should audition for a magnet program.
And that was
Thank
it.
God for it. And that was the beginning of that. And then my first year in drama, my teacher, Miss Marchand, sent me to a professional audition because they needed a kid for this play. And I auditioned and I got it. So it
Wow.
was pretty much like, okay, I hear you.
Yeah. Well, were
Check
you
mark here.
always someone who like, okay, so you said you were 16 or 17 when you bought the book, first self-help
Yeah.
book, but were you always someone who like paid attention to your life's pulling, the life's pulling? I mean, you said that these teachers obviously saw something in you,
Yeah.
but did you feel that in you?
I don't think that I was aware of my awareness. I think I just followed it, but I wasn't like actively saying to myself, this is what I need to do, or this is the direction I need to take. I think I just did it.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the impulsive Aries in me that followed the hunch, and it felt, maybe I didn't realize that it was intuition more than impulse. But I've got students and friends and other people that, even at a young age were aware of things. I wasn't as aware. I just did it. So it was subconsciously something was evolving in me, and I just said, okay, I like acting. I guess I'll do that. Not realizing this might just be something that's going to change my entire life. I never ever thought as a kid in the world that I grew up in that my life would evolve the way that it did ever.
So tell me a little bit about where you are right now in this wonderful beginning. Carpe diem, seize the day. Tell me a little bit about how you are facing this year.
Well, this year is interesting because I'm a big numerology person, so I know that turning 30 in April is a big deal for me. Not because I think it's old, or that I'm aging. Some people say, "Oh, you're so young." It's not about that. It's just about I'm recognizing that there's a shift, for me in that number, in that space. I'm moving to New York at the end of the month, early February, waiting on some things, but that's the idea. So there's lots of change. I'm moving. I'm turning 30. I recently got sober. I'm 40 days sober today, actually, which is wonderful. Thank you. And that feels great. Speaking about my sobriety, another awareness that was probably a little bit more clear than what we were talking about earlier, but it did come subconsciously. I didn't have thank God, knock on wood, which it could happen to anyone, a rock bottom moment. I didn't have something that happened to me. It was just an awareness of I'm done with this part of my life.
I find, really at stages of our lives, we're open and ready to hear certain messages. And I think that you said specifically that you felt it was like a pulling or the other world.
God whispers and then he shouts.
Oh yeah.
So you wanna stay connected to your higher power, whatever that may be, whether it's Mother Nature or the power of grace and mercy or God, however you may see them. You want to stay connected to that voice because eventually the message will become louder and louder and louder.
Yeah.
And that sort of happened with my choice to be sober. I said, God is whispering right now, and I don't want something to happen for me to get it. Like, I don't want to hit my head on the pavement. I don't like pain, and I don't like trials and tribulations. I want fun. I want ease. I want peace. I want sitting on my friend's couch laughing. I want vacationing somewhere really nice. I want a nice sweater. I don't want chaos. That's not really what I'm into,
Yeah.
So I listen to the whispers so that it doesn't turn into shouts. And that's my way of sort of following my intuition, is looking for that little voice, hearing that voice and going, okay, I gotcha.
It's like sometimes we have to play it out until we are done. And like you said, you pay attention to the whispers so you can get that clarity to move forward. And, I do believe that things show up, signs kind of like to course correct, perhaps. Like last year, you could have gone to LA, the whole actors strike, you had a whole pause, and maybe it gave you that time to be ready to move this way, and something more incredible, a bigger door opens for you, which I love. Like back to synchronicity, what we're talking about, and the fact that you have so much clarity around that as well. It's going to make it a different experience as opposed to maybe at a different time. So I just love the inspirations you're giving. And I do know that a lot of people, when they say, I don't know what I want, well, when you identify what you don't want, it certainly makes it a lot easier. On the other side of that, the contrast,
let me pour some hot lava on you, and then you'll tell me if you want hot lava. Oh wait, no, I don't want that. Okay, well, now you know what you don't want. There you go. That's easy.
Exactly. That does not feel good. Yes. It's like when you have your kid touch the stove, it's like you burn yourself. They had to learn the hard way, but
that's life. Yeah. And I don't like learning things the hard way.
There you go.
If you tell me that a certain highway is very congested and not to take it, I'm going to listen to you, because I don't want to sit in traffic and then say, I should have listened to Meg. That's just not my speed.
But it goes back to also trusting your choices. If someone trusted tells you that versus someone that you don't trust, that's another whole game changer. And, I think that it's the beautiful thing of life is when you're surrounded yourself or with people that you can trust their expertise or their wisdom. But at the same time, actually start playing with that so you can figure out what works for you. And therein lies the inspiration. So I do love this part of the show, is the inspirational quotes that my guests bring to the table. And I'm going to start right now with an incredible one. When I dare to be powerful, to use my strength in the service of my vision, then it becomes less and less important whether I am afraid. What an incredible beginning.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Tell me why you love this and what your thoughts are.
Well, the quote resonated to me because it sort of circles back to purpose. What is your, when I dare to be powerful, to use my strength in the service of my vision, I think of that as my purpose. Like if I utilize and harness all of my energy onto what I was born to do or what my purpose is, then it doesn't matter how I feel, because purpose overpowers fear. When you've got a strong purpose, it overrides a lot of things. If you lose sight of your purpose, then it's easy to get caught up in anxiety and insecurity and doubt, you know?
But you're rather young to even contemplate this, I think. Maybe it's the whole generations behind me,
Yeah.
are thinking very differently because of the state of the world. I don't know, but tell me a little
Well,
bit about.
I'll tell you, your daughter's generation, whatever generation that is, like I'm a millennial, whatever generation is underneath me, like I think it's your daughter's generation, they're much more forward than we are. I will say. I think millennials are sort of like, okay. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I hope I don't get like canceled by the millennials, but maybe they don't care. We're not nearly as aggressive as the new generation that's really taking to the streets and doing things,
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's necessarily if we're going to be technical, my generation, but I certainly think about purpose because I don't know, I guess I grew up in a very ethical family. We spoke a lot about what's right and
I love it.
just being a good person and being authentic to yourself. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be real
Yeah.
to whoever you are. And I thought, I have to be alive, right? I didn't consent to being born. I didn't consent to being here. But since I'm here, I
I
guess
might as well.
might as well, do the right thing.
I love that. And the fact is that you are a teacher by trade as well as the professional.
Yeah.
It's so important for them to hear that authenticity is the path that will free you and your life to do what it is that you're here to do. And Jessica saying fearless generation, and you get inspired by the younger generation because how little they haven't. It's kind of interesting how like little we haven't poisoned the well.
Yeah, it really is amazing that I mean, it's amazing that your daughter's generation, they're not messing around.
Yeah.
And I don't remember being like that. I don't remember any of my friends being that driven. I mean, we grew up in the era of like when reality TV was starting, and it was completely politically incorrect, completely aggressive. Every wrong joke you could say was aired on TV and like maximized. Nowadays, like I rewatch some of the shows that my generation watches. I'm like, how did this get? Who greenlit this? Who decided that any of this could be produced? So, and we were not agents of change. These young people, if any of those jokes were aired, the show would be canceled.
Yeah.
By the next day.
I guess it's really kind of getting back to the humanity and the Karen concern about like actually like someone said the other day when I was watching a show that like shows like 16 Candles and Pretty in Pink are horrifying. Like she got roofied.
Well, and I rewatched The Breakfast Club for the first time in a long time, and I was like, are they kind of glorifying this weird sexual assault situation with him and her? Like he sort of is aggressive on her and then she sort of falls for it and is like romantic. I was like, what is happening? I mean, I guess like you said, the Maya Angelou quote, when you know better, you do better. And maybe our consciousness was at a certain level at the time of those films, but
I do believe though some points of concern or even points of entertainment are necessary. Like, so I always say, look how the culture, look at the culture, what they value by looking at the entertainment that they watch, right? And I think that for many reasons, even speaking to you with regard to like, acting and the whole thing, you could speak more readily to that than the rest of us because you see where the money's going, right? You see by virtue of what we look at and we praise for real, because basically where our money goes is what we're asking for more. I'll go on to the next one because I love Abraham Hicks. We both are junkies. I mean, it's kind of interesting because sometimes they get a bad rap because it's kind of considered new agey, but the wisdom, man, the wisdom
is spectacular. Yeah.
And this one is write your own story and trust the universe to deliver. I mean, wow.
I mean, it doesn't get better than that.
And I'm a storyteller, you're a storyteller. And really, we are the change agents of our own narrative. We get to do that. We get to tell the story through our eyes rather than, like you said, playing to an audience that we believe we're trying to get their external approval. Tell me a little bit what this feels, or like, the whole idea behind this for you.
Well, this phrase I like, this quote I like, because for a long time I thought I was born into, like I said, I feel like I didn't consent to be born. I was just born. Luckily, I got great parents and a great family, whatever, the whole thing, But I felt like I just had this story, that my life was this story, and that I had to play this part because that's how the circumstances were justifying this story.
Mhm.
And then somewhere along the lines, after I started self-help, after I read, I don't have to be stressed out. I don't have to be on edge. I don't have to be combative. I don't have to be constantly defensive. I fell into this rabbit hole of, oh my God, you can change who you are. You
Yeah.
can change your story. You don't, just because you grew up in this neighborhood or in this mentality or in this survival mechanism, you don't have to live like that. That was wild to me. I could not understand that you could actually, Meg, if you decided to, you could change your entire life in a day. You could pick up, I mean, this is drastic and severe, but you could take the dog and leave tomorrow. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? That's crazy to me. And then
Yeah.
your story would be changed. You would go from being this author who's a mom with a husband, and then it would be a different life.
Let me tell you, if I were honest, I will tell you that I had the fantasy a couple
Yeah.
times along the way.
I don't want to make it sound too appetizing, but
Yeah. Well, I think we, I'm a very, by my nature, by my, like you said, our family of origin teaches us, I'm like loyal. I am committed.
Italia,
My
you
word
think
is
it
my
sees.
bond. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
I'm not I don't lie. I have integrity.
Yeah.
So I don't think it might be a fantasy. I could write a story about it, but in my own personal, unfolding, unless someone pushes me to the limit, hell no, I won't do
Yeah.
that. But
Exactly.
I'm telling you, just telling you, what you're saying is so ultimately, because that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're moving from Miami unknown to go to New York and unknown, but you're embracing uncertainty as you do it, as you write the next chapter of your
And
life.
I'm trusting. And I mean, I trust people, and I do trust life. I do trust God, the higher power. I just don't trust the next step. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
no,
I'm
I
sort of like,
understand.
every day I'm waking up and I'm like, okay, what's today? I'm like, sort of like, as if I have a blindfold on that's sort of see-through, that's kind of see-through. So I'm like, all right, there's a laptop here in front of me, and there's a woman I feel like, I'm just a little bit reticent to sort of jump in, but I have to trust because there's no other option. And then on top of it, being sober is a huge thing because a large part of my life was socializing and drinking and enjoying that, and that was sort of a crutch, whether I realized it or not.
Yeah.
So now I'm completely open.
Wow.
Completely open. I have nothing to rely on. I don't do any other extracurricular activities other than drinking was my thing. So, and that was enough of a pet to take care of. So I didn't have any time to do anything else. But so now I'm completely trusting without any of my usual comforts, other than my
Mm.
friendships that are so meaningful still.
Love
But I'm like, okay, I'm trusting. I'm trusting.
I love that, and the other point of the matter, I'm not a drinker. I'll enjoy once in a while, but I have a big enough personality and a big enough, like, trusting my big enough life
Yeah.
that it's for me, it's like this is the kick, to be in
Yeah.
conversation with someone like you, to really engage and be present with someone like you, knowing your potential and your possibility gets me really excited. That's the
Thank
endorphin or serotonin kick that I get to take away, because woo, at the end of the day, it's like, wow, that impact. If I wasn't paying attention because of whatever was clouded, then I would have missed it. And
Yeah.
damn, I'm not going to miss it. If I don't have FOMO, because I'm not there, but I'm here and
Yeah.
you're here with me. And I honored, like I said, honor and a privilege. And I think that's really ability to trust. And if I feel a certain way, I'll detach with love and step out because I'm not able to handle it at the time. So I can just like honor, like to thine self be true. I have to do that. And I know, because I know I'm an anxious person. I know certain things trigger me. But the beautiful thing is when I trust, I love, and I get to pick who's on my show. So it's like even better.
Yeah.
I'm going to take something away because I'm very much engaged and very much, really in tune with shining a light on you. And you know, that's what you do. That's why you got the Shine Inspiration Award, because you literally shine light on children who are looking to someone like you to build their confidence. And confidence just means to walk with faith. Confidere means with faith. And then we have this awesome, you know, quote that I think, I'm so glad you put this: to forgive is to set a prisoner free and discover the prisoner was you.
I mean, that's like, take a second and go. I mean, just reading
Take a second.
it was like, oh my God, did I choose that?
Yeah.
I'm always impressed at my ability to be profound.
Oh, very profound.
I'm very profound of me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that quote, it's the ability to be profound is one that one must utilize. Yeah, that quote is, I mean, the visual alone, I'm a very visual person. So just seeing, like, you know, the thought of like, oh, I'm gonna forgive you, Meg, and then to realize that I'm actually I'm releasing myself. I'm setting myself free. That's crazy.
Wow.
Because everyone thinks, when you start out with forgiveness, right? I'm gonna forgive you, and there's like this sort of superiority. Fine, I will forgive you. I'm here and you're here, and you hurt me, so now I'm going to be better and forgive you. But it's not even about that. It's not even close.
Not even close.
It's not even close. It's a relationship where both of you are equal, and the healer, or the wounded, or the higher, it's not, doesn't exist. You're you know, forgiveness is coming from the same place of compassion and going, it's okay. I've been there. I know that I have capacity to be I mean, because the reality is, any of us can do anything that could hurt someone. Any of us can say anything that can hurt someone, you know, but in those moments of anger, you create this false sense of superiority. So removing the hierarchy system that you've created, and then realizing that on top of that, you were actually imprisoning yourself.
Amazing. Well, you know, I heard this quote long ago.
I feel like this is a word salad. So whoever's listening out there, try to break those 18 different analogies I use, and just break them into chunks.
But I love the fact, and the visual is really big. It's all capital letters, and it's telling you, Louis B. Schmedes, I hope I said it right. He's an ethicist and theologian. But the reality is that when you take poison and expect someone else to die, guess what? You're going down, you know, or jump off and then hope so. You know, it's really poison. I'm not saying forget. It's just starting the process of freeing yourself. And I do love the idea that many times we start off thinking that, oh my God, if I forgive, then they're off the hook. Well, the bottom line is, no, you're off the hook. You're allowing yourself to live more glorious a life. And I think that could be no better gift for you, for sure.
But that's the thing, right? Is that no one wants to let someone off the hook, because what they're really saying underneath, I don't want to let them off the hook, is I don't want my feelings to be dismissed. What happened to me really bothered me, and I don't want to pretend like it doesn't bother me. I don't want to pretend like it's not really important. I don't want to pretend like my feelings should be minimized. I know my feelings should be honored. They should be taken care of. They should be respected. They should be projected. So I can't let you off the hook, because then it releases that part of me. So you have to do a lot of inner work to realize that, like, it isn't even about the other person. It's about you and your own relationship with your feelings, honoring them, regulating them.
Yeah.
You know, it's such a whole thing.
But I think it's so great, because you can use everything that you've gone through in your life in your short 29 years to infuse your act, infuse your characters, infuse it. Because when you bring us into the emotional side of what you're doing, we are really living it through you. I don't have to feel the pain, because I get to live it through you. And at the other end, I'm like, damn, I don't want that, but I get the lesson. And I always thought that the best conversations, the best shows, the best forms of entertainment is that when you leave, you have another conversation started. So that is literally what you get to do. That's why you've been blessed with the talent that you have. And that's why you get to be on the show. We get to see you up there, and we get to dream through you sometimes. Tell me a little bit about what this is. This is a picture of Miguel on the screen. So go ahead.
Picture of me on the monitor for the film Dare to Say Yes, that should be coming out. I think it's streaming already in Norway or Switzerland or something. It's not streaming here yet. It's not going to be in theaters. It's a streaming. It'll be on a streaming service. But yeah, this is a great film. And actually, you'd enjoy this film, Meg, because the film is about a girl who gets dumped and fired on the same day. So she's sort of her best friend. I know. Talk about a reason. Talk about a reason to go back to drinking. Kidding. Just kidding. No, you don't. I'm just kidding. For anyone listening out there, I make jokes about everything because it's just the easy way to get through it. But she gets fired and broken up with on the same day, and she goes to a retreat. Dare to say yes, and it's about saying yes to life. So my character, I play the very sassy owner of the resort or something, and I'm sort of in charge of the whole thing.
So can you give us a little idea as to when it's coming out so we can keep
I have no idea.
Oh, you know,
but if you follow me on Instagram, the Miguel Luciano, I'll be able to share any info that you may need.
Okay, so Miguel on Instagram is at MIGUEL
LUCIANO. Yep.
Okay, LUCIANO. Wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful. And then, okay, so, one of the things I'd love to do is get intentional as well. And it's something that's really important to me because before I start anything big, and I think even before you start this launch into your next phase of life, setting your intention really does allow the things that you want come to fruition. So one of the things I always ask my guests at the outset of the show is set your intention and then pick a page in the Magical Guide to Bliss. What was your intention for the show today or for this particular stage of your life?
It was hard because, as you know, I've got so much going on that there's an intention for almost every, and if you're an Abraham Hicks fan, segment intending, right? Trying to segment intend. And also there's not one intention I would say encapsulates everything. But I would say that if I had to choose one, it really is being present. And that is the most common thing that almost any person will tell you, but it's not just, it's probably the hardest thing to do in the world is be present. Not just in this moment with you, but be present to how I'm feeling in my body. Be present to the reaction what I'm experiencing as I say my truth. Being present to what you're giving me and really receiving it, giving and receiving. Because if you're present, there's giving and there's receiving happening at the same time. You're giving something and you're receiving something from the person if they take it or if they don't. What do you receive when they don't take it, right?
Yeah.
So being present in all of it. So that's my intention, to be present.
So what was the page that you turned to in the Magical Guide that would be your corresponding insight for that?
Well, the number I chose, I haven't opened the book, but the number that came to me in my head was 48.
Okay, so open to page 48.
Let's see. I did not. For all I know, it's going to be totally off base, or maybe it'll be right on. Who knows?
We're synchronistic. We like synchronicity, so usually it's right on.
That's true. February 12th. Love. Well, that's really good.
Yeah, that's really good.
Blessed is the influence of one true loving human soul on another. George Eliot. That's incredible. Souls love. That's what souls do. Egos don't, but souls do. Align with your soul, look around, and you'll be amazed. All beings that surround you are incredible souls. Be one and see one, and don't leave out the animals, trees, and clouds, for you are one with nature. It is that simple. Love resides as a part of one field of energy. The act of loving may be expressed in many different ways, but it is all the same, a beautiful reflection of self. Take a moment today to feel the love that is all around you. The creation that you see comes from your creativity within that started because of love and passion to begin with. Intend to attract the incredible bliss that comes from feeling one with the universe and truly experience this purest form of love. You play an important role in this world. Your heart beats in tune with the universe. You are in sync if you just allow yourself to go with the flow. Go to your heart today and feel the love that emanates from each beat. Then make a decision to be the change and share that love with other souls through beautifully inspired acts. With your testimony, love will grow. To love one another in your own special way is why you are here. You are loved and you are loved. It's that simple. Now go. And the magical key to bliss is write a letter to someone and tell them how much he or she is loved. That's amazing. And it actually does make sense with the presence.
Yeah.
Because when you're present, you notice, like you said in the book, the trees, the birds, the clouds. And another amazing synchronicity, Meg, this is actually spectacular. The other day, I was listening to a Zoom online meeting, an AA meeting, and someone said something along the lines of, look around, there's trees.
Yeah.
There's birds. And I was driving at the moment, and it's sort of like, it hit me like a ton of bricks. How can someone complain? This is so extra and so new agey and so weird. And I understand that if some people are hearing this, they're like, what is Miguel on? But sometimes when you slow down the emotional roller coaster that you're on, just slow it down. You get off the roller coaster of, I hate my partner, I hate my life, I hate my this or whatever, I'm stressed out. Stop and look around and you're like, there's birds.
Yeah.
There's trees.
Yeah.
There are clouds. Like, I am on this planet at the same time as Mac and Cheese and Stevie Wonder and Nicole Kidman in Big Little Lies,
Yeah.
and you know, pine trees and birds, man. I
Yeah.
mean, come on, some of them are creepy, but some of them are really stunning, you know? So it's like being present can connect me with the love around. And
Yeah.
honestly, since getting sober, I am noticing all of the wonderful things that my friends have done for me.
Oh,
Like last week, I told my friend I was craving mashed potatoes. She invited me to her house. A week later, she goes, I made you some mashed potatoes because you told me you were craving some.
it's amazing.
I told my friend the other day, when I get my 30-day chip, I've already 40 days. When I get my 30-day chip, I really want to celebrate with chocolate cake because I don't really eat cake. I'm not a sweets person, but now that I'm not drinking, my body wants the sugar. My friend had a little chocolate cake cupcake waiting for me at the house when I went to go visit her.
Wow.
It's like, I don't think I would have really noticed the love that was around me had I not been as present with my sobriety, with my truth, with my authenticity, with my connection to other people.
It's amazing.
So that's right on.
Oh my God, I love everything that you've said. And the fact of the matter is the beauty of the energy of love in the present moment, in that share, and what you're sharing with your vulnerability, certainly, you know, frees other people to no longer be the prisoner to the things that no longer serve them. And two is stepping out of the fear into the possibility. That's the gift that you give yourself for not being, you know, beholden to something that no longer serves you as well. So when you, and I know you're known as very much, you know, expecting a lot from your students to show up and to engage that other side. And I certainly could tell my daughter the same thing, but she won't ever listen to me. But you made her better at the things she loves.
Thank you.
So it was kind of like this karmic, wonderful give and take. I see you and I'm grateful that you're in my life. And then you give that gift to someone I love as well. And I think that's what we get to do in this world, you know, this whole service to the world. And I'm so excited to see what you get to do in this next unfolding, because I feel kind of giddy, because I think that you're going to get so big that you're like, oh, Meg.
Meg, I met you once, right? Meg, you worked at the corner store, right?
Yes, that was me at the corner store. Because when I see, like, those are like the things that, you know, I hope that you get so big that I have to remind you who I am. But that being said,
never happen ever. You're making me feel weird now. I'm like, never. That would never happen. If that ever happens, that means like a parasite has like taken over my body.
I know that won't happen, but that's the level of
excitement you have for me, and I receive it. I openly receive that energy from you, and I send it right back to you, because I know we've spoken about some of your dreams and some of them, and dreams for you are plans that are waiting, that are in action of happening. Yeah. So your plans that are being planned out right now that are going to happen, we've already spoken about them, and I know that they're going to happen, and I'm excited to be everything and anything of use, of support, of excitement, of positive energy. It's all happening.
I have to say that I know that you would never do that, but that is the kind of like life I want you to step into, knowing full well, like you have made a path of people who support and love you because of the person that you are. It's not because we want anything from, you know, it's because of the person that you are and what gifts you've given to others. And on this season 7, my Live, Laugh, Love, Play episode, I would love for you to share with the audience maybe a tool that motivates you, not necessarily the inspiration, but maybe things that help you manifest the life of your dream, that are some go-to elements of your path that we could all use.
Well, I know for me, affirmations are everything. I've read online and I've spoken to people that don't resonate with them. To me, affirmations are everything. They're everything. They're everything. They're everything. They're everything. They're everything. Louise Hay, the grandmother of self-love and forgiveness, she said, Think about how many years you've spent talking badly about yourself and criticizing yourself, and it hasn't worked. So why don't you just try the opposite?
Yeah.
So that logical perspective I share with people that don't like affirmations. You spend a lot of time negatively talking about yourself to the point where you've created a computer in your brain that believes it, and now this is the engine that runs in the back of your brain all the time.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to rewire your brain, and it's gonna feel weird at first, but know that you're planting seeds, like she says. You're planting seeds. So affirmations are a huge, huge deal for me. Speak it in the affirmative. You don't say I'm broke and I need money. You say I'm so grateful to have all this money. I'm so grateful that money is always coming to me.
Yeah.
I'm grateful that my money is growing. I'm grateful that abundance is here. I'm grateful. And if you need to find abundance, look around. What is something abundant for you? If you've got 500 shirts hanging in your closet, that's pretty abundant.
Yeah.
So start. I'm abundant. I'm abundant. I have a lot of clothes. I'm an abundant person. Open your fridge. If it's pretty full, but your bank account isn't, you just focus on what's in the fridge. I've got a lot of food in my fridge. This is really good.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of food. I've got a full tank of gas. I could technically go wherever I wanted right now.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Focus on what you have that's at around you, and then just grab that feeling, let it gather momentum.
So this is kind of fun. What is something about how you show up as an actor in this world that you're looking to serve and make a difference for people who come to see you?
Well, I certainly, when I perform and take on these characters, I try to be as honest as I can to the story. So, and luckily for me, I've lived a very varied life. So my purpose is I'm using some of the experiences I've experienced in my life that have been very specific, considering that I'm not even 30 yet. I try to use what I've lived, and within context and within text, let that shine through the roles that I've played. So making sure that my life isn't in vain. As an artist, your life is never in vain, because you're using your personal experiences to authentically tell a story at some point. In Cabaret, I couldn't have used all of my life in that show, but there were portions of my life, portions of my experiences that I was able to authenticate, replicate in a real way that was still honoring the material of the show.
So about the material of the show, in the beginning, when you come out and you hold the energy in the room, you did such a great job.
Oh, thank you.
What was going through your mind? Like you open.
What was going through my mind when I opened the show? I mean, like our friend Evelyn Perez says, you have to have a split screen as an actor. You have the technical side of acting, and then you've got the artistic side of the character. So the character is aware that I'm luring these people in, and that I'm bringing them into this fabulous, delicious, disgusting, decadent nightclub, right? So I'm enjoying the character's journey there. And as an actor, I'm thinking, this is very cool that I have been entrusted with this task. So because giving people a responsibility like that empowers them. When you give a child, I know this as an educator, when you tell a child, I want you to hold the door for me, you're the door holder today, they feel empowered because they have a responsibility, and someone has trusted them with that. That's why kids love helping, because they feel like someone thinks I can do things.
Yeah.
So as an actor, I tapped into, I can do things.
Okay, so I want to take you to the end. And Cabaret, I'm not going to spoil it if people haven't seen it, but if you haven't, you must see Cabaret. At the end, life. Wow. You just, once again, hold the space for that energy. I don't know if you can tell us a little bit about that without spoiling it, but wow, that's heavy.
Well, by the end of the musical Cabaret, the war is definitely at a different place than when it started. Some of the characters in the show are turning a blind eye to what's really happening, and ultimately they all pay the price for it.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone has questions as to whether our impact matters, right? Even in today's climate, with everything that's going on in the world, you see people on Instagram and on social media posting and wanting support, and there's so many different varying feelings. Can we do something? Can we make a difference? It's hard. It's really hard. So I think that question lingers for me at the end of the show always. What could these characters have done differently to have changed their fate?
But interestingly enough, art is literally a healing tool.
Yes.
And it's a way that people can see things differently so that we can, in fact, make a difference
and
in our
influence.
own life.
Yeah.
So with that, and especially in light of the world today, when you close the show as the MC in Cabaret, what went through your mind? Because you did it so well.
Oh, I mean, I wish I had a really elegant answer for you. You get so immersed in the process that eventually, at least for me as an artist that relies on my spirituality a lot, and my spirituality, I mean letting the essence of the soul of the character literally inhabit my body.
Yeah.
So after a certain point, the technicality part of me does go away. I'm still remembering to project, enunciate, and hit my mark, but but the spiritual part of the character does take the lead, and then from there, there's very little I can really do as long as the actor can rein the spirit in, and I don't just start randomly crying. You know what I'm saying? Like that's gonna be challenging too if you're a spiritual actor. You can't just start crying because you feel the moment. There's a restraint that you have to have. You still have to honor the directorial vision of the show and what is required of that scene.
Yeah.
But to a certain degree, you're just the spirit is walking in front of you.
Wow.
Well, and Meg, that's the really amazing part for me as a director of young people and as an educator and as an acting coach is that I feel the emotional reaction when my students do great work. Like I'm not just technically going, that was good. Ava hit the note. Excellent. She got the beat. It's not just about that. Sometimes it is. Sometimes I'm just technically impressed. And then other times I'm moved. Like when Ava sang her second solo in 13, when she sang What It Means to Be a Friend, I remember working on that with her.
Yeah.
Working on that song with her. And that was a pivotal part in her artistic career and of those kids too, because they were leaving the part of their educational career. They're so cute. They're leaving the part of their educational artistic career where they're like playing cutesy parts, and now they're playing the songs they're doing are a little bit more real and they hit home a little more. So there's more work that they have to do, right?
Yeah.
Because sometimes when it hits too close to home, it's almost there's more work. It's actually not as easy to relate. You think it is because you get it, but to express it in an authentic, dynamic way that's effective for the story and for the stage. But I remember seeing Ava in that song, What It Means to Be a Friend, and really being moved and being like, she got it. Yeah. She got it. She understood it. And I, as an audience member, because once the show opens, I'm just an audience member. I direct it and then I give it to them. As an audience member, I'm like, wow, I felt that. And that's the coolest part of teaching.
Yeah. That's the best, like the best of you shared with others. And wow, just amazing. And that is why I give you the opportunity to give us all a final inspiration today. This is the final inspiration for all of us as we all are out in the world as protagonists in our own life.
Well, as protagonists in our own lives, it's exactly that. You are the protagonist in your own life. And you do not have to be held prison to what your parents told you or what society told you or what your religion told you or what your political leaders told you. As long as you're not harming yourself or harming others, it is your story. And you can create it however you want. And every day is a new moment. And actually, not even every day. You can close your eyes, breathe for 10 seconds, and there's a new moment.
I love it.
We don't have to be imprisoned by our thoughts or by our ideologies or by our, our societal structures. There is, you are your own person. And as long as you are not harming yourself or others, it's rock and roll, baby.
Rock and roll, baby. Rock. So tell us, other than Dare to Say Yes, which is coming out any day on stream, what is next for you? And if people want to hire you as for private classes, perhaps, or anything that you offer, please tell me.
Or any acting gigs.
Yeah. Okay. Even acting gigs. Where can they contact you?
Call my agent.
Yeah.
Call my agent. My website is being done as we speak, so I can't tell you that just yet. But Instagram is the best way to contact me, at the Miguel Luciano. I'm an acting coach. I'm a director. I'm an actor. I'm a writer. I'm a producer. I can do a lot of things. I can't do your taxes. I cannot play football with you. I wouldn't trust me to bake anything either for you. I burn cereal. But
you're so funny.
But there's other things I do know how to do, and I do them pretty well.
And you do them very, very, very well. And with that, this has been an amazing interview, Jessica.
It has. You're the best. You are the best. Can we do this every day?
I want to. Thank you so much, Miguel. I was hoping, and maybe this is going to be the thing that stirs it on, but everybody remember, life is a cabaret, and maybe you can sing a little bar from that. Life is cabaret, my friend.
Oh, from that song or from my opening?
From anything that you want. I would be so honored, and certainly my show would the audience would appreciate that.
Oh my God. I'm like, let me Google the lyrics. I don't know. Willkommen, bienvenue, welcome to Cabaret, oh Cabaret, oh Cabaret. I think I messed up the last lyric. I'm pretty sure.
I love it. Such a talent.
Oh, Cabaret.
All cabaret. Life's a cabaret, my friends. Miguel is an amazing actor, director, teacher. We are all going to follow you, watch you, see what you do. I know that magic is you. So anything that you touch is going to turn to theater and acting gold. It's time to live fully, love intensely, laugh more, and certainly find wonderful ways to play. Be present. Wow, that's the greatest message. Be present and be sharing that love with as many people by virtue of your strengths and your gifts, so you can make a difference in this world. Butterflies, get ready to dazzle. I really believe in all of you, and it's time to see you all shine. Trust your choices and your dreams, and go out there and live your life, because we're all waiting and watching. Have a wonderful day. Thank you, Miguel, for everything.
Bye, everyone.